This quick video will show you some functionality when you walk up to the machine. Eventually, we will have the machines where that you'll have to badge every time you walk up to it. And once again, that's a one-time setup. When you do swipe your card, and if you have not authenticated yet at the machine, remember you don't have to do it at, you only have to do it at one machine, not all machines. And it's actually good for across the entire district. But once again, once you go ahead and do that, you will now gain a lot of different functionality within the machine, and you can actually start setting up some of your own private settings on the console. So let me enter into the machine here just to go through some of that functionality. And what you'll see when you log in, you'll see your name populate, okay, in the left-hand corner. And now, right now, I'm in the secure print queue. Okay, so these are jobs that I've sent to the machine from my computer. So this is a way that now, for those of you that do print confidential documents, that you can send a job here, and you're the only one that's going to see this job when you actually process it through the machine. Now, with that said, when you look at this, you can select a job that you would like to print. So if I wanted to print this job, I select it by touching the screen. And if I want to adjust it, I can also adjust it still at the actual console. So maybe I sent this here from my PC. I set it this way, but you know what? I actually need 3 copies. Okay. And once I go ahead and do that, I then have the option that I can now print and delete. So it means that once I print, the job will be gone. I can print and keep. Jobs will stay in your print queue for roughly about 72 hours. Now, let's say that this is my print queue. Let's say, though, I want to walk up and I have the copy, the piece of paper I have in my hand is what I want to copy. I then will now go to the left-hand side. I'm going to select main menu. And this is a screen that pretty much everyone now is familiar with, right? If I want to copy, I select copy. And now I'll have my different options that I'm working with here. Now, let's just say, for example, you do have the ability, once we lock down the machines, you can create, or you can always go back to your previous settings, right? So let's say early in the day, I went ahead, or yesterday, I went ahead and I put a job in. It was 1 staple top left corner and 3 hole punch. I can go back to that history and pull that job up and just rerun the same thing again. Also, at a future date, we'll show you some other ways you can actually create the settings and make it a favorite. All right, and then you can actually number all the different settings that you usually use, and almost like a speed dial on a phone. Now, as I go through this, I have my finishing options. All right, that's where I can find the staple and collate and so on. Two-sided, the density, either lighter or darker. But I also do have more options that I can go into. For example, I know it was always a pain in the neck when I'm looking to, let's say, make a photocopy from a textbook. And then you always had to do the 1 page on the glass and then move the book and so on. With this, if you select this tool right here, book 2 pages, you can put the entire book flat down on the glass, indicate that you want the book to be 2 separate pages, and it will actually make you 2 separate pages for that copy. But once again, you can peruse through here, just looking at all the different options that this will do for you. Once again, there are so many different things that you can go ahead and try. There are 4 pages of different settings that you can test and see which will make your life a little bit easier as you prepare for your classes. I'm going to go back to main menu and scan and send. This is another functionality that is a little bit better than what we had in Xerox. Xerox, if you had any time that you wanted to send yourself an email or scan something to yourself, you always had to type your email address into it. We now currently have in the address book, if you go ahead and just go search by name, and if I just put in my last name, and you'll see, okay, there we are. I just select and I click OK. You'll now see my name is now populated there. Let's say with the scan and send feature as well, once again, I can save it to my favorites, or I can save it to my favorites. But what also is pretty cool, if I go to options, it gives me other things that I can do with the scan and send as well. And I can also, let's say if I want to put a subject or the subject and a message in the email along with what I'm scanning, is also a pretty cool feature. Okay, once again, that's if you go to options, and it's on the 2nd page there. So right now, let's say if I wanted to go back to my private print queue, I just go back to secure print, right? So these are some of the basic features that we now do have up and running in regards to the copiers and Uniflow. Hopefully this will help you just become a little bit more comfortable and familiarized with the actual machine. And I do hope that they are working well and in helping you out in your day-to-day work.